I am fine. Good morning, Judy. Good morning, Marvell. Thank you for being here to talk about caregivers who are heroes among us. I really appreciate your time. Marvell, I'm going to start with you. How many caregivers are there in the United States?
It's an astonishing statistic that there are over 100 million caregivers across our country. And that means from, ages, as young as 16 to, as old as 85 and older. So there's just millions and millions of caregivers across our country.
What impact does the caregiver have on, the lives and the careers of the people that they're impacting?
Yeah. So caregivers are really the backbone of our care system and frankly they feel the weight of that commitment every single day. And so whether it's driving to a doctor's appointment or advocating for their loved one in an emergency room or making sure that medications are given at the right time, caregivers are consistently showing up for their loved ones. And so at Caregiver Action Network, our impact is all about making sure that we show up for those caregivers because the support that they need is really so critical because they are such an integral part of our care system.
I want my audience to know that Marvell Adams Jr., he's the Chief Executive Officer of Caregiver Action Network. I'm going to ask Judy to weigh in. Judy, can you tell me, as being a caregiver, can you tell me how this is impacting you?
Yes, thank you. I actually became the primary caregiver for both mom and dad around the same time. Mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's dementia, and then my dad was diagnosed with vascular dementia. So it was challenging, both physically and emotionally, caring for both of them at the same time, managing doctor's appointments and finances at once. But what made things even harder was that my mom was displaying agitation associated with Alzheimer's disease. And what that means is she was swearing, she was irritable, she started to hoard, and she wouldn't let me help her organize. And she was resisting any kind of help. And then she was becoming suicidal and talking about how she wished she never would have been born. So it was a very emotional time.
I can hear the emotion in your voice. I'm so very empathetic to how you're feeling, but you're not the only one. I don't know if that makes you feel better. Thank you for sharing. Marvell, let me ask you, Judy's not the only one that has this role. Am I correct?
You're absolutely right. And, I can say from my own personal experience that many years ago, I was a caregiving youth. So at the age of 13, my mother had a stroke, and I supported her, and made my after school routine change dramatically. And growing up in rural South Carolina, when my parents didn't work, they didn't get paid. And so my dad continued to work, and I supported my mom as best I could with making meals or helping her to the bathroom or getting her out of the shower. And so there are millions and millions of caregivers across the country that are doing these roles each day, just like Judy did for her parents. And so it's just such a critical first step for them to self-recognize and identify as a caregiver so that they can reach out for the help they need, but also so they can be recognized by the care team that their loved one may have, whether it's their doctor or a nurse or an aide, and so that they see their critical role in their care as well.
As there are approximately 78 million baby boomers, and this is my audience, so I know the people are listening real closely because I see them out there on social media and all the other platforms. They want to know what's on the horizon for them as a caregiver. Do you have any advice,
Yeah.
Marvell?
That is a really good question. And so what we really talk about is being prepared is really a part of that plan. And so that's why we really encourage people to seek out resources at caregiveraction.org, whether it's making sure that you have a medication list ready to go, whether you have the documents that you need, whether it's a power of attorney, a healthcare proxy, ensuring that you really have the resources available and at your hand when it comes to being able to support your loved one, knowing your rights as a caregiver, whether it's in the workplace and knowing that the Family Medical Leave Act can be there as an opportunity for you to take time off to care for a loved one, and ensuring that you really are there to show up for your family members. But most importantly, ensuring that you self-identify and recognize yourself as a caregiver and reach out for those resources.
That's a lot. Does your network tell me about the CARE campaign?
Sure. So each year, Caregiver Action Network sets the theme for the National Family Caregivers Month, which is each November. And so this year's theme is I Care, and we really are amplifying that message of self-identification. So as I mentioned, over half the individuals that have a caregiving role don't necessarily identify as a caregiver. And so the biggest part of our campaign this year is amplifying the message that self-recognition is a critical first step in caregivers getting the support that they need so that they can really be not only great caregivers for their loved one, but also really thrive in their own humanity and being able to have the self-care they need so that they can ensure their own healthy living.
That is great. I want to thank you and Judy for sharing this. This is just a drop in the bucket. Like I said, my poster asked, what's on the horizon for us? There is a lot that's coming, but I'm hoping people like you and people like Judy telling their story will help the rest of us make a better decision in life. Once again, what's that website? Because I know my audience needs that.
Yeah, and so they can visit us at caregiveraction.org, or they can make a free call to 855-CARE-640.
I want to thank you and Judy once again for being on the Valder Beebe Show and making a difference. Have a great morning.
Thank you. You too.
Take care.
Hi, I'm Valder Beebe, host of The Valder Beebe Show. We have over 1,000 videos on ValderBeebeShow.com and YouTube.com/ValderBeebe Show. We upload new videos daily. Our site is a modern baby boomer platform with news and information important to boomers. Subscribe to YouTube.com/ValderBeebe Show and stay connected as I interview the world's most fascinating people.